So what exactly is Wargy's World? It evolved from me twiddling my thumbs out here in the garage. So in order to understand where I'm at right now, we got to run back in time. Right about the turn of the century.
Fuck, you're old.
My wife and I had just bought our first home together, and there was one day I was cutting the grass, beautiful spring day. I got done cutting the grass. I didn't have anything else to do. I wasn't ready to go in, take a shower, and end my day. So I just grabbed a camp chair, sat it down at the garage door, drank my water, and looked out over the neighborhood. And then it hit me. Dude, you've got a surround sound up there. So I pulled that out, got that set up. So now I sat, looked out over the neighborhood while I'm listening to the radio. Eventually that evolved that I went from the radio to my iPod hooked up to it. So now I had like 10,000 songs that I could choose from. And then that turned into, before Kenny Chesney went to Sirius XM, he had an app, the No Shoes Radio app, and I had that hooked from an iPad into the surround sound. And I would sit out here with that. And that's what started the whole thing once social media came up with Scenes from the Drinking Room. I'm sitting out here one night and a song comes on, and to me, music is a huge time machine. I can hear a song and it'll remind me of another song. Or I can hear a song and there's something about the theme of that. I remember where I'm at. I'll think of some kind of trivia about the band, about the album, about the artist, whatever. And I couldn't help myself, and I would just sit there and just start posting on Facebook about what I just listened to. I would do the same thing as I'm doom scrolling through Facebook and see a meme or a news article or something that I feel like I need to comment on, but I don't want to put in a regular comment. So I would share it and put my own little diatribe on it and send that out there. I've always been a good writer. I've just been an underachiever when it came to writing, and I wouldn't do it. But when I put my mind to it, when I had the right motivation, I could actually write really good, and I can do it in a humorous way, but not like full on ha 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 ha. I use a lot of sarcasm. I use a lot of foreshadowing and things like that. And it was a pretty big hit with my friends on Facebook. So I also did beer reviews. Whatever I was drinking, I would snap a picture of it and I would make a post on what it is I'm drinking, the flavor profile, where it's from, the ABV, all the stats of this thing, right? If I'd made a mixed drink, I would go through and I would tell the steps of how I made that mixed drink. And again, a lot of flair and a lot of fluff to it to make it fun to read. On nights that I didn't have to work the next day, I could spend until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning just acting a fool on Facebook and having a few drinks, listening to music. And it seemed like every time I went to go to bed, something else would strike and I would write something else. So I was up to like 2, 3, 4 posts a night. So now let's fast forward through time. Not only has what I've been doing in the garage evolved, but the garage itself has evolved. The original house we were in, we left that in 2010, and then we spent 8 years in 2 different rental houses. Each time the garage became my little sanctuary. I couldn't do a whole lot to the rentals, but I could make it comfortable and sit out here and still have my fridge and my music and my phone. Then we moved into this house. Once we moved into this house, I was able to do the garage how I kind of envisioned it, where it's a man cave, but at the same time, move a few things here, a few small things here and there, and now it can be used for all the activities of a garage.
Here's the thing, it'll give us so much extra space in our room to do activities.
And I started getting more and more, because I started having more time, I started having more, making more and more posts on Facebook. And it got to the point I was even doing the Publix ads. Our Publix ad starts on Thursday. On Wednesday evening, we would get the preview on it, and I would write down that ad, concentrating on the junk food, the beer, and the sub of the week. And again, adding some humor and my commentary, sometimes sarcasm, about what it is that's on sale and my feelings about that product. So now we're up to the shit show that was 2020. The only bright spot about 2020 is I retired in October. So my wife and daughter had just read one of my posts, and they're chuckling about it. And they're like, "You need to take this to TikTok." I'm like, "Yeah, TikToks for the kids, don't exactly have a face made for video. Nah, I got to pass on that one. No, you don't understand. I think you do really well. It's not just for kids. There's older people there. The way you tell stories, I think, and as creative as you are, I think it would be really, really fun for you to do it. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. So I started coming up with ideas on how to translate from the post to video. And I was like, well, before I even get started, I need to come up with a name. I'm thinking about keeping Scenes from the Drinking Room. Like, yeah, you might as well. I mean, you already got that, that's known through your Facebook community. It's like, all right, so I'll keep that. My daughter says, no. How about Drinking Room Chronicles? Since that's what you do in the drinking room is you chronicle different stuff.
That sounds like a fucking franchise.
I'm like, yeah, definitely. We'll do that one. So that was the beginning of it. That was the later evolution. And I started off strong. I started off with a whole bunch of stuff. I would do about 3 videos a day, and each one of them was something a little bit different. But I always gravitated back to a beer review, or I always gravitated back to a mixed drink review. When you have a name like Drinking Room Chronicles, and you put out about 10, 12 videos a week, half of them are beer reviews, it looks like you've got a drinking problem. And I don't. And I don't drink that much. But the image of that looks like I drank a whole bunch. And that's all my stuff had become after that, is nothing but alcohol related. And that's not what I wanted. It's not what I intended for that channel. It's definitely not what I intend for this channel. So I started backing off. And next thing you know, I was backed off completely because I was in a block. I didn't know what to do for content at that point in time, since I took away what I was comfortable doing. And that was the key thing, is I was comfortable with it. So that's where we're at right now. I'm in the process of rebranding this whole thing. I want to get to the deep dives of music. I want to get to the deep dives of movies. I want to still maybe do some drink reviews, but probably not. I definitely want to do some Jeep stuff. I want to do some local sightseeing stuff. I don't really do the whole travel vlog thing. I've tried that in the past, and I found out that I was spending more time enjoying or actually existing in the vacation through the camera lens and not actually spending time with the family. So I kind of backed off on that one. So that's where I'm hoping this thing is going to go. In the meantime, I'm going to throw out some of these videos right here of me just spitballing stuff and just, word salad, the whole nine. And until I get through all these blocks that I'm going through. Once I start posting videos, then I'm going to probably do a series where I'll go through and I'll break those videos down. I'll talk about the editing process, the shooting process, the creation process, the concept of it, and I'll explain all that. So hopefully somebody that's in my position that this is a whole new world to can come in, take a look at that, and maybe help guide them through the process as well. But I'm hoping with enough input and I'm hoping with enough content that I'm going to put stuff out there that people are actually going to want to see. Only time's going to tell with that. So I know anytime you get some kind of growth, evolution, whatever, there's definitely going to be some pains involved. I'm prepared for that this time. I'm just hoping you guys are going to come along on the ride and kind of watch this thing do its thing. In the meantime, go kick tomorrow in the ass. Cheers, y'all.